Hello everyone, welcome back. With Miss Grand International being so very soon, about a week from now, I thought it was probably time for me to reveal my early top 20 prediction for this year's Miss Grand International competition. Now, we've had a few opportunities to sort of gauge these women's personalities and gauge their performances, such as through the previously held swimsuits competition thing, and then there was the fitness costume competition thing, and then there was also the interviews that happened quite recently, which were very helpful. But we still have the national costume competition coming up very soon, as well as of course the preliminary competition, which is always so helpful in helping to determine our predictions. Now, obviously, before the finals will happen, I will issue a final prediction video. But as it stands right now today, this is my prediction for Miss Grand International 2022. So far, in my top 20, I have 28-year-old Camila from Argentina. Camila was actually Miss Universe Kosovo back in 2016, but unfortunately, she went unplaced at Miss Universe 2016. Hopefully, she will place this time at Miss Grand International. I know she has improved a lot since 2016. Then at number 19, I have 24-year-old Lisseth from Ecuador. Lisseth was actually the appointed Miss Grand International for Ecuador this year. At number 18, I have 21-year-old marketing student Agatha from Paraguay. At 17, I have 20-year-old Laysha from Mexico. Now, this stunning woman actually represented Mexico at Miss Universe Teen or Miss Teen Universe in 2021 when she ended up placing in the top 10. At number 16, I have 19-year-old Roberta from the Philippines, and she was actually the winner of Miss Teen International. And at number 15, I have Vietnam. Now, I'm predicting that Vietnam is actually going to be voted into the top 20 through the fan vote competition that's happening. Vietnam was actually, I think, the winner of the pre-arrival fan vote thing, which won her some time with the director at dinner, something like that. My point being that she is very popular and she definitely has a lot of voting power behind her, so I definitely think that Vietnam may get in via fan vote this year, but I also have her as number 15 because I do like her a lot. Then at number 14, I have 23-year-old Cambodia. This woman actually speaks Thai and English amongst other languages. I do think that Cambodia has a really strong contestant this year. At number 13, I have 23-year-old Janet from Peru. Now, this woman was actually the crowned top model of the world in 2018, meaning that she has already won an international pageant for, women, not necessarily only a teen pageant. I think that's amazing. Top model of the world, they're not necessarily the biggest international pageant, but that's really something. Then at number 12, I have 26-year-old Luiseth from Venezuela. Now, if this woman looks familiar to you, don't worry. It's because she actually competed at Miss Universe 2021, where she made the top 16. Then at number 11, I have 25-year-old Damilola from Nigeria. Now, I've seen this woman mentioned as a lot of people's favorites, and that brings such joy to my heart as someone who lives in Africa and always, makes the effort to support African women in pageantry. Especially recently, I did a whole video about all of the African queens competing at Miss Grand International this year, so check that out if you want to. I'm so glad to see that Damilola is getting the recognition that she deserves. Moving into the top 10 now. At number 10, I actually have the 26-year-old Kanisha from Curaçao. This gorgeous woman competed at the infamous Miss Universe 2015 pageant, where she actually placed in the top 10, which is major. I definitely, as I'm standing here right now, I'm starting to regret the fact that I actually have her at number 10. I definitely think that I will probably move her up for my final prediction. At number 9, I have 22-year-old Jearmanda from the Dominican Republic. She has a degree in international business and really advocates for children's welfare. At number 8, I have 28-year-old Brenda from Costa Rica. Now, Brenda was actually the crowned Miss Earth Costa Rica for 2014, but for some or other reason, she did not end up competing at Miss Earth at all, which is perplexing. I wonder how she would have done if she had actually gone on to represent her country at Miss Earth. But she does have a lot of pageant experience. I would say that she's probably one of the most experienced women at this year's competition. And amongst the pageants that she has competed in and placed in, she actually competed at Miss Intercontinental in 2018, where she ended up getting a top 15 placement, which is huge. At number 7, I have 28-year-old Priscilla from Colombia. Priscilla has a degree in communication and public relations, and she is really advocating against violence in Colombia. And I definitely think that that fits in so nicely with what Miss Grand International supposedly stands for, which is ending war and violence. And at number 6, I have 20-year-old Hirisley from Spain, and she has an early childhood education degree. So moving into the top 5 now. At number 5, I have 27-year-old Oksana from Puerto Rico. This woman is so gorgeous. She was the second runner-up at Miss Universe Puerto Rico in 2021. And what's interesting about her is that she's actually Russian by birth, but she was adopted at a very early age, like 13, pre-adolescence, by a Puerto Rican couple, and I think that is so interesting. At number 4, I have 21-year-old Andina from Indonesia, and she was actually the appointed representative for Indonesia at Miss Grand International this year. At number 3, I have the 27-year-old Thailand representative. Oh my goodness, this woman is, first of all, is she not the most stunning being you've ever seen grace this planet we call Earth? She is just so gorgeous. Not to mention, she's actually a great singer. She was on a couple of Thai singing contest shows and things. And she is also openly bisexual, which we love. We love diversity. We love representation in pageantry. So I'm really hoping to see her get to the top at this year's competition. So at number 2, as my first runner-up so far, I have 25-year-old Isabella from Brazil. Isabella has a degree in economics as well as a master's degree in finance, so she's really freaking smart. Not to mention, she's really beautiful as well. And then lastly, guys, my predicted winners so far for this year's Miss Grand International competition, after I have looked over a ton of things, to be honest with you, is 23-year-old Mariana from Czech Republic. Mariana is definitely a smart cookie. She has a degree in psychology. I saw a lot of people also say that they thought she was the best in the interviews that happened recently, and I do think that this woman is so stunning, so dynamic, not to mention with the conflict going on in Europe at the moment. I know we shouldn't bring politics into things. It does help that Czech Republic has, stated firmly that they are backing Ukraine, or not necessarily backing Ukraine, but they have stated their sympathies towards Ukraine and things like that. I also think that where they are situated in Europe would be beneficial to the Miss Grand International organization, especially since their whole thing is about ending war and violence. It could be beneficial for them to have a queen that is, close to the most major and most well-documented conflict in the world right now. So yes, guys, that is my early sort of prediction for Miss Grand International this year. We have the national costume competition coming up, as well as prelims. I will be documenting all of that. Let me know what you guys' predictions are. Who are your favorites? Who did I leave out? Thank you guys so much for watching. If you haven't already, please subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.